Hey guys, it's Sam here with Lumberjack Flooring Company. Today I'm going to show you how to apply polyurethane onto your floor. So to bring you guys up to speed on what we have done so far is we have screened this whole floor to promote adhesion, and now we're getting ready to roll on our finished product. So one of the most important things you need to identify before you start your project is what kind of finish you want to put on your floor. Here we have a can of oil and a can of water base. They're two very different products that solve the same problem. Let's go over what the pros and cons of each one is. So right off the bat, let's start talking about oil. Oil is one of the most well-known products. You'll often hear it called something like polyurethane. Not everybody will just call it oil-based finish, they'll say polyurethane. And what they're talking about, this stuff. Polyurethane is quite a durable finish. It has been around since the dawn of coating wood floors. It has been around forever. Everyone has it, everyone's used it. I want to tell you what there's good and what there's bad about it. The biggest con of oil-based finish is that it yellows over time. This sucks. If you have a floor that's stained, you have anything interesting, you really want it to be aesthetic and have like a certain look to it, you put oil-based on it, it's gonna look great for about 5 years. After that, that sucker's gonna yellow, and it's gonna yellow bad. So something that was, let's say like a darker brown stain, it's gonna be like a reddish yellow after about 5 years, and it'll start looking a little different. And hey, if that's your thing, if you like things looking really antique, that's a big pro of this, is you can make things look very old very quickly. So something that's not often talked about is that oil-based does tend to take quite a long time to dry. It can take anywhere from 8 to 12, maybe even 16 hours to dry. So during that time, a lot of dust and dirt tends to accumulate in the surface of the floor. Don't worry, it's not really that big of a deal, because as you walk on the floor, your feet act like an abrasive and tend to wear off that top layer of dirt and debris. You will have a smooth floor later on, but initially it may be a little bit more rough than your contemporary water-based finishes. Now, one of the biggest things that you need to know about oil-based finish, above all else, is the VOCs, your volatile organic compound. What that is that's dust particulate, essentially. It's in the air that you don't really want to breathe. It's not good for your lungs. It's not a good situation. Oil emits a lot of this during its cure and drying process. And inhaling these things, not particularly great for your health. They do eventually dissipate over time, but is something to keep in mind if you were to choose oil for your project. Now, something else that you need to know about oil is that it does have some pros. The biggest one that we encounter on the day-to-day is that people will want something to look antique or match their old woodwork in their house. Oil-based does that like nothing else. Also, one of the other big pros of oil-based is that per square foot, it tends to be cheaper than higher quality water-based finishes are. Now today, one of the most popular things you'll see people do is commercial grade water-based finishes like this Burger Seidla Green Star. This is a top quality finish. We really like it. It's worked really well for us in the past. And I want to tell you a little bit about the pros of water-based as a whole, not just this product, but across the board, is that it is relatively low in VOCs, meaning after we're done coating and the floor is cured, it's not really unsafe for you to be in the room. It's not really gonna stink. It's not really gonna be a big problem like that. The smell, the odor, whatever you wanna say that comes off of water-based finish is very minute and tends to dissipate within a day or two. So if you're someone that's like, oh, I hate that smell, that oil stuff, that stuff sucks, man, this is your friend. You'll really like this product, any water-based for that matter. Now, I mentioned it earlier that oil-based tends to have a longer dry time, and a downside of that being is that particles from the air can land in the finish, and they tend to congeal, and you have little bits of dirt and specks in the finish. With water-based, this is nowhere near as big of an issue. Because the dry time tends to be 2 to 3 hours, you don't really have to worry about that as much. So you can basically have a smoother floor right off the get-go. So that's a big benefit of going with water. Now, one of the other huge, earth-shattering benefits of water-based finish, and the reason I really like it, is that it doesn't change the color whatever you put it on. You can put this finish on anything you want. You could put it on furniture, you could put it on your floor. I don't really care, but you know what it's not gonna do is it's not gonna yellow on you. It's gonna stay nice, it's gonna stay that same color throughout its entire lifespan. Obviously, if you stick it in the sun's gonna bleach anything. So now you've decided what kind of finish you wanna use on your floor. Now you need to know, how am I gonna coat this thing? What's it like? What should I know before I do it? What kind of tools do I need? One of the easiest ways to apply any kind of finish is with a roller. This right here is a 3/8 inch nap Purdy Ultra Finish roller. We really like these because they're a microfiber style roller, and they put down finish very evenly, and they hold way more than most of the competitors do on the market. Now, why is that 3/8 inch nap very important? Well, with all finishes, there's a certain mill thickness it needs to be applied in. That means it can't be too thick or too thin if you want it to last a very long time and have optimal appearance. So you need to use the specified thickness, the specified nap of roller that the manufacturer requires. In our case, and for almost all finishes, it's 3/8. There's a lot of frame styles you can use out there. There's a lot of different options, different shapes. We really recommend you just go with a standard 9-inch roller. Right off the bat, let's talk about water-based versus oil-based as far as application. They're very simple to use. Right across the board, you could do pretty much everything that you would for one for the other. Now, there is one big difference between the two of them. Water-based, you can't let sit in a puddle on the floor while you're working. It has to be spread out as soon as it hits the floor. And the reason for this is water-based soaks much deeper into the grain of the wood, and it tends to leave what we call a burn. It's not burn like fire, but it'll leave a mark there, leave a ring where that puddle was. Oil-based doesn't have this problem because it dries so much slower than water-based. It's not that water-based is any way inferior, it's just something you need to know if you've chosen water-based for your project. Now, if you're someone who's hearing this and you're wondering, well, how do I coat the floor? It's pretty simple. First thing we recommend is that you pour your finish into a bucket. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna work with the grain of the wood, with the floor, through all your passes. You'll never work against it, you'll always work with it. And what this allows you to do is it allows you to see where you've been and where you haven't been, and allows you to keep it consistent. One thing that's not often talked about is that on your roller there's a lot of lint. Some people will call it lint, some people will call it fuzzies. I like fuzzies, I think that's more fun. But what happens is that when you dip this roller into the finish, those fuzzies come out as soon as it hits the floor. They start to roll across the floor. So you get these little bits all throughout the finish. They're rough underfoot and they're very visible. So you wanna make sure what you do is that you will cover this whole roller with a roll of tape. When you unroll it, get all that tape off of it, it's gonna pull all the fuzzies with it. So something that you need to know when you start off is that you'll see people in Instagram videos or Snapchat or wherever, and they're pouring finish on the floor and they're rolling it. That works just fine, but we don't recommend that for anyone who's just starting to learn how to coat their own floor. And the reason for this is what I mentioned earlier with the finish sitting and pooling on the floor. To add to it, the ratios. You don't really quite understand how far that finish is gonna go. So what tends to happen is you either have too little in some areas or too much in others, and you leave those terrible lap lines across the whole floor. Avoid that at all costs. Simple solution, pour it into a bucket. Not only are you pouring it into the bucket, but you're gonna dip your roller into the bucket. You're just gonna dip it, you'll coat until your roller doesn't have much more in it, and you're gonna dip it again, and you're just gonna keep doing that. That's gonna promote consistency on your finished product. So right off the bat, let's talk about dipping the roller in and how you're gonna coat it. Now, I'm not actually gonna dip into this finish because right now we have water base on this floor and we're not quite ready to coat it. We still have some more buffing to do, but I'm gonna show you what you should be looking for when you start. Now, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and dip into the bucket here. Sam here, post-edit. I just wanna say I didn't use a bucket on this project because I'm a professional. We're just gonna go ahead and give it a good plunge, dip it in there, and we will just go ahead and we are going to roll out the floor. What I like to do is I like to follow the board lines. It's the easiest way to gauge where you've been and where you haven't been. So you're gonna go ahead and roll, you're rolling until your roller starts to get kind of dry, and before it starts having issues, you're gonna dip again. You don't wanna let it get too thin, as I said earlier. The thickness of the coating is crucial. So you come over here, you'll dip it again, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna keep rolling till it gets to that point where it starts to feel a little bit dry. We'll dip again. A good rule of thumb is that when you are rolling, as I said earlier, I follow the boards. I tend to overlap one board width every time I roll. Every time I go back and forth, one board width. You want to overlap every single time. You want to go over what you've already rolled just a little bit because that helps keep the floor even. So now the other reason you want to make sure that you overlap is that you don't want to have any misses. The sheen of the previous coats will not match the top layer. So if you have any misses, they're gonna be very obvious to everyone who walks in your house. They'll go, that area doesn't look like it got coated. And you're right, it did. So now there's another tool you need to do this job. You need a little brush. Doesn't have to be a real nice brush. It just needs to be a good, decent quality brush you'll use for round corners. Disposable at the end of the day. Now, if you get a really cheap brush, like those little Chinese chip brushes, they're garbage. They'll leave little bristles in your finish, and you're gonna sit there and you're gonna have to pick them all out. You don't need an expensive brush, but just get like a $3 little brush, just like this one. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go around, you're gonna coat around all the details on your floor, all the corners, and anywhere where you can't get the roller. So, like example, I would not want to roll around this tile around this fireplace. So what I'll end up doing is I'll have a little puddle, tiny, tiny, tiny puddle of finish right here that I'm going to use up. I'll dab in it, and I'm just going to come along and coat that thing. Let the finish work for you. Let it do all the work, and you'll just coat around it. Now, you saw I went with the grain here on this wood around the face of the fireplace. The rules still apply like it does in the rest of the floor. You must coat with the wood. So when you get down to over here where there's butt ends, you're going to have to coat like this. Again, let the finish work for you. Don't try to put your bristles directly on the object or right on the edge, because what happens is you're going to get finish on it. So you'll start a little bit of ways away and you'll press the brush down, and what it'll do is that if you have a nice enough quality brush, the bristles and the finish will do the work for you. So it's pretty simple. What you're going to do is you're going to get around the fireplace, you'll get at your corners, your walls, places where you can't really get a roller effectively or you don't want to get finish onto the object. Now, if you do get finish on the object, don't worry. It's not that big of a deal. Just keep a rag with you. What I like to do is I keep a little painter's rag like this just right there in my back pocket. And, you know, let's say I go, oh no, I got finish on that fireplace. I throw that rag on there, wipe it up. Everything's good. We're all fine. At the end of the day, we can breathe.
So one thing we should talk about this situation is how you coat and how you get out of the house. You remember how I mentioned that it takes a while for some of these floor finishes to dry? And it can take anywhere from 1 hour for water base or 6 hours with oil. Well, you need to have an exit plan when you're coating the floor, or else you can get trapped in there and then, you know, you're kind of stuck there for a long time. So I wanted to kind of draw it out for you so it was a little easier for you to really see what I'm talking about. Let's go ahead and draw this out here. So let's just say we got our living room. I'll draw the layout of the same house we were in when we took that video, so you kind of get a feel for it. So there's your house there. Here's your little kitchen setup. Comes out like this. Over. Little bathroom situation over here. This is an awful representation, but it'll make more sense. So let's just say we're like this, and we have our front door right there, right? So we started coating right here, right? This is where we started. We went and we coated this section here and cut a straight line here. Remember, if you remember watching the video, our boards were going this way, right? So all of our wood floor was going that way. I had mentioned you don't ever want to coat across the grain because you'll leave a line there and it'll be visible on the floor. So while you're coating, you have to make sure you keep a straight line. And what I mean by that is cut yourself a line across the floor that follows the boards. And you would just stop right there. This section is done being coated now. Now, instead of just going to this hallway and starting here, that'll be a problem. If I coated that whole hallway, because remember, I can't stop in the middle, I would have to go all the way to the door. How am I going to coat everything else and get out? So what I would do is I would come over here and I'd coat this area. And you would do everything. There was a little island right there. You would coat all of this way, then stop right here. And then coat this way and stop right here. All right? Then you'd come up here to the bathroom and you'd coat out the bathroom, stop right there. Now you'd walk all the way down this hallway and coat your way out of there. But there's a method to the madness when you go to coat a floor, and it's really important you have a plan ahead of time so you know how you're getting out of there and how you're going to be able to make it all work in the end without getting stuck on the floor or, worst case scenario, putting footprints in it.
And as always, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you've learned something from this video today. And if you have any questions or thoughts, put them down in the comments below, and we'll try to get back to you. If you like this video, why don't you take a look at this video up here? I think you'll really like it.